Well, good morning. It's another beautiful Saturday morning here in North Dakota. Uh, oh, a little bit late starting. I had to get my coffee ready. So let's see, what do we got going on today? It's actually not a bad day out. It looks absolutely gorgeous outside. We had the freezing fog this morning, so everything is white. All the branches, the power lines, anything out there is white, covered in frost. Antennas on vehicles are just caked with it. It's just really nice out. It's like currently right now it's 25 degrees out, so it is a beautiful morning out there. Uh, and it's the Saturday after Christmas. So guess what? That means people have had their feast. People have had their time to go out and do what they want to do, and now it's getting to be that time to get back on track to what we need. For me, I've needed the meeting. Um, One of the meetings I go to a couple most days. One of them I go to is like extremely early in the morning, and when I'm not supposed to be getting up for the day, I sleep in and I don't go to that meeting. The other one that I go to, the host on that one's been under the weather and hasn't been able to go do it for a while. And I've actually missed those meetings because they really help keep people on track. Uh, and I needed it more now than I have before, but that's what this is for. If you have anything going on, drop it in the chat and we'll discuss it and talk about it. That's what the weekend meeting here is for. Such as John. Good morning, John. Glad the holidays are done. Time to get back to normal again. Absolutely. I didn't have the best of the holidays, but that wasn't unintentional. It was intentional. My wife and I made decisions that we were going to enjoy ourselves this holiday. Last year, we both, over Christmas time, were very strict for carnivore and did not have anything that we shouldn't. This year, we've actually done really good. My wife has reversed her type 2 diabetes. I've dropped 122 pounds this year. And she said that we need to just have a little bit of whatever it is that family brings over for us. So we decided to do that, and can't say that I regret it. Aaron says, "Good morning. How you doing today, Aaron? How was you did a really good job on your fast, Aaron. That was awesome that you got down all the way down to 202. That was fabulous." And Bryce Biscuit, good morning. How are you today? It's absolutely gorgeous out here. I wish I could get my camera to take a shot from outside. All the leaves or the trees, the branches and everything, they're all like frosted over and clinging with frost because we had that freezing frost here overnight. I think it's just absolutely beautiful when it's out there like that. And today my wife and I are going up north. That was actually my phone that was making that stupid noise because I forgot to put it on vibrate or silent. Well, it actually is, so it must have been a family member message. So I've got my phone set up so that my family members are my favorites on the phone, and their messages, phone calls will go through even when I have the do not disturb on. So had a Google memory this morning, quick little video that showed pictures of my daughter with her daughter, my granddaughter, from when she was a baby up until just a little bit ago. And that came up on my Google memory. So I had to send that to my wife and to my daughter for them to see. Aaron says it's not bad this morning. The sardine fast was not too hard. No, actually, the sardine fast was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I did not think eating just 2 cans of sardines for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or at any time would be enough for me. But it is, and it's absolutely amazing. Bride's Biscuit got a snowstorm in New York City last night. Food delivery is being rescheduled. Yeah, that does happen when we have these kind of things like this. And John says, with your wife reversing her diabetes, did she have any problems with, oh, you know what? This morning, my eyes just aren't as good as they, oh my goodness. These are just readers. My regular glasses I have a much stronger prescription for the reading part. These are just a basic 1.25. And all it did is just crisp up the letter so I can see it. Did my wife have any hepatic insulin with me? That my liver is like having a garage door kind of stuck open, dump glucose in my system. Sometimes, most of the time, her glucose has actually really been doing good. But there are times where it does seem like her liver just makes glucose nonstop. It doesn't go all the way down like it should. And so there are times it does do that. I completely understand what you're saying, and I never thought of it that way. But yeah, it could be from that, or it could just be that her pancreas isn't making a proper amount of insulin yet. It's getting worn out because of the 20 plus years of being a type 2 diabetic, that she followed their conventional wisdom and ate whatever she wanted and just adjusted the medication, which is not the right way to do it. But that's the way everybody's been taught. But yeah, that makes a lot more sense there, John. Let's see. Aaron says, I wish he could got through the week with not eating holiday treats, but I am human. Yeah. Well, we did. We had my mom. She's been in the 80s. She still bakes for a month for Christmas, and it's all these good Norwegian treats that I grew up on and stuff like that. And she doesn't understand the carnivore way of eating. I can explain it to her, and it goes right over. She just doesn't get it. So that was one of the things that my wife was saying. She is getting older, and we don't want to upset her for the holidays. But if she brings something, try a little bit of whatever. So we did, and did I have issues with it? I'm having issues with it. Not cravings or anything like that, but I can tell you that my weight has gone up significantly in the last 4 days. Makes a huge difference. Water retention, I can feel the huge difference. But was it worth it? Yeah, I don't know. It depends upon how long it takes me to get back to where I need to be. That's going to be the trick one. Aaron says they had a lot of ice, sleet, snow mix yesterday. Yeah, we had that here. Was it Tuesday? Monday, Tuesday, we had some stuff like that just briefly went by us. It didn't do much at all here. Where was it? Tuesday, Wednesday. But it was quick and it was gone. And didn't really do anything for us here. And we had a little bit on Christmas night. We had some sporadic icy mix, but nothing really big. Oh, and let's see, just be less fat. I like that. Good morning. How are you? Are you doing the carnivore diet or ketogenic diet? And where are you from? Just be less fat. That's good. I do like that. Bryce biscuits. You're going to do a 72-hour sardine fast in January. Also another 48-hour fast. I might try a modified lion diet for a week. Can't quit coffee just yet. Yeah, I've been trying. I tried quitting coffee. I quit coffee again here for like 5 weeks. I did try coming back and drinking the instant coffee, like the stuff that Larry's been doing, and it's, man, that stuff is so bitter. I completely understand why Larry needs cream in his coffee if that's what he's drinking, because this stuff is just not good. It's some of the most bitter stuff I've had. Maybe if you switch to this kind of decaf, or not decaf, but instant coffee, it'd be easier to give it up there, Bryce Biscuit. Jess, you grew up in North Dakota, but you're in Phoenix now. Haven't been to Phoenix. Closest I've been to Phoenix is Kingman, Arizona, and I was there this summer. Stopped in and visited with a gentleman there that runs Keto Carnivore. It's a bakery in Kingman, Arizona. His wife has done it as a keto carnivore bakery cafe. They got some really good foods. It was one of the things that my wife and I saw an interview with him on with Dr. Baker, and I decided I was going to give that a shot for my wife because she was having a hard time with the carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet. And I ordered some of the snacks that they had, the cookies and snickerdoodle blondies, and there's something else, some type of a muffin. And when they finally came, she wears a CGM. They had absolutely zero response when she ate that stuff. And she was able to eat it and enjoy it and not feel guilty about it. So we had to go to California this summer for something, and on the way home, we decided that we were going to make a trip, and Kingman, Arizona was an hour detour from where we were driving to begin with. So we stopped off in Kingman. It's close as I've been to Phoenix is getting into Arizona and driving into Kingman. And it was hot that day. It was 115 degrees when we were in there. Hey, good morning, Sarah. How are you today? It's nice to see you here. How was your Christmas? Just be less fat. You're doing a rolling 72-hour fast and mostly carnivore when I open up an eating window. That's awesome. Rolling 72 hours. So how long in between your fasts are you going when you do eat? I'm curious on that, because I've heard people talk about rolling 72s, but I don't know how long in between the fast and eating that you go. Cosmic Gesture. You're doing zero. I'm doing a zero farts diet. Oh, that's funny. Bryce Biscuit, Larry with instant, and Dustin with Nespresso. Yep. I can't believe that how bitter the instant coffee is. Now, I do have some instant coffee right here, and you can see I have cream in it. I didn't do the no cream this month, so it's even with cream, I can still taste that bitter flavor to it. I can't throw it away, so I have to find some way to drink it. I'm not using sugar, so I had some extra, or I had a container of heavy whipping cream that I was going to make ice cream for my wife with, but it looked better than my coffee. I just have to get her some more. Bryce Biscuit. Never tried to quit. That would be well planned with some half-calf and stress sleep management as well. Yeah. Quitting coffee is actually, it's pretty damn hard to do. Unless you're one of the people that can give up addictions and, on a whim. Coffee is one of the harder ones to give up. I actually gave up drinking alcohol. For me was easier to give up than coffee. Much easier. John says his liver hasn't learned the new set point yet. It's always trying to get to the higher glucose level that is set into metabolic memory. So I still need to fast 72 hours a week. Yeah. You having a can of sardines now? And I wish my wife would. She can't do sardines, sure. She won't do sardines. It's really different. Too fishy for her. She can do salmon and stuff like that, but she won't do sardines. Sarah says that I have quit caffeine many times and haven't felt any difference. Now I just try mostly drink decaf or half calf. But I do drink caffeinated yerba mate. I had a great Christmas. I hope you all did too. Absolutely. It was actually really nice. We had family. My kids were all here. My parents came out. We had ham and brisket and everything that goes with it, of course. I did have that. That was my brisket I cooked. Just over 14-pound brisket, and the temperature overnight went down into the single digits, but it took about 17 hours to cook, and then we let it rest for just about 8 hours before slicing into it. That was absolutely delicious. Well, Danny, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Chevet? Good morning. How are you today? It's nice to see you here. Where are you watching from, and are you doing a ketogenic carnivore style diet, or are you just scrolling through live streams this morning? Yeah, coffee was only hard for me to give up. It really is. Just be less fat. You do best when you eat once and keep eating window to 30 minutes to an hour. On Christmas Eve, your eating window was 5 hours, 50 minutes, and it triggered the drive to eat. Oh, I absolutely get that. That was one of the things where for Thanksgiving and for Christmas Day, we had food out all day long. So there's that temptation to be there, to continue eat. And it's not a good thing when you have that. But my wife and I both decided that we were going to have some of the stuff that we normally wouldn't do while we're doing this week. And, it's made a big difference. This morning I was actually, my lowest weight I have been to is 213 pounds, and that was when I finished the sardine fast. My weight went back up to 217 or 218, and then back down to 214 right before the break here. That was 4 days ago. And then this morning, I'm back up at 223. So I really didn't eat a whole lot, but I did have stuff that I'm not used to eating. So I'm 9 pounds heavier today than I was 4 days ago. Now, I can tell a lot of that's water weight. I've been extremely thirsty, and I've drank a lot of water, which I normally don't have an issue with, but I can tell I've really retained a lot of it. It's not good. That's the triggering to be able to eat all day long is probably one of the ones that makes it hard. Bryce Biscuit says I grew up with just milk in my coffee. so never developed the need for extra fat that some need. On Carnivore, I do half and half since it doesn't have the gums and stabilizers. It's less carbs. Yeah, the heavy cream that I'm using right now, it's a organic. I can't remember what brand it is, but it doesn't have. It's just heavy cream. It doesn't have any of the other garbage, the gums and the carrageenan or whatever the heck that is that's in there. It's just heavy cream. I actually, if I'd have thought about it before the live stream, I could have ran out to our. There's a meat place just right out of town, and they have a display case from a dairy just north of town that sells raw creams and raw milk. I should have went and got some of that stuff. That would have been really good. Might still be able to do it. Sarah says the only time coffee was hard to give up is when it was my last comfort, when I did a super strict diet for cancer. It was basically Lion diet, but calorie restricted. Yeah. Giving up that last bit of the comfort food is really hard to do. Bryce Business says you research low acid, which is usually darker roast. Yep. I tried salt. I will probably use that as I try to get off of dairy. Yeah, a little bit of salt in the coffee. I tried that with this instant coffee. I couldn't put enough salt in it to kill that bitterness in there. It's supposed to help out, but it really didn't. I did butter in it the other day, and it didn't seem to. It took a little bit of the edge off, but not nearly what this heavy cream takes off of it. But I can completely understand how they can really abuse the heavy cream, trying to get that bitterness out. I won't, once this here is gone, and it's almost gone. I just bought a small container of it. So once that's gone, I'm not going to buy that again. I do have my Dunn Brothers coffee. It's a whole bean, and I still do good on that. I've had that. Did I have that yesterday? Or it was the day before I had some. Christmas Day I had some. And that doesn't affect me, and it's really smooth. That's a really good coffee. Aaron, coffee with cream didn't impact me on a sardine fast. Yeah, and that's good. It's nice to be able to have something like that you can enjoy while you're doing the sardine fast, because it is a very restrictive thing to eat, and you gotta have something to get the taste of the sardines out of your mouth at times too. Ooh, it's really hard to get used to the bitterness on that coffee. And if you're lucky enough to get raw milk, that's great in coffee. It's practically half and half depending upon cow, and it is. Now, we can get raw milk here. Our state just passed it this summer where raw milk is legal to sell in stores now. Before you had to do something with being a part owner or whatever it was. You had to buy a share of the cow or whatever. But now you can actually just buy it. And I've been using the raw milk and the raw cream for my wife's ice cream this summer. When they had the farmer's market, we could go to the farmer's market, which is only a couple of blocks from our house. And I can buy a half gallon of the raw milk and a couple half pints of, or what is a pint? A couple pints of heavy cream, and make milk or ice cream out of that. And man, is that freaking delicious. Bryce basically missed coffee only one day over the last 52 years. Raw is legal for sale in New York, but not available in New York City. Yep. It's so many people just don't even think about it. Everybody's afraid of it. It's actually really good. Yeah. I did get ice skates And I spent yesterday, I took one of my granddaughters and we went ice skating at Citizens Alley for about 45 minutes. And then it's a small rink. It's like half the width of a hockey rink and probably 3/4 of the length. So it's small. So you get like 20, 30 people on that, and it's really crowded. She didn't like it yesterday, so we ended up going to two other rinks outdoors. One they were playing hockey on, so we couldn't go to it. Yeah, and the other one, it was just a nice outdoor rink, and we skated out there for another half hour, 45 minutes. And then what time was it at 4? From 4 to 5:30 at our indoor rink here. There was open skating, so spent another hour skating there. And all together yesterday was probably 2.5 hours of time that spent on the ice. It was actually really good. John, when you hit 215, the next 25 just melted away with no effort. Now my body just wants to hang around 190. That is absolutely fantastic, John. I wish mine would do that. I haven't had that luck yet. I've been up and down from that 215 down to 213, down back up to 220, and then back down again. I would love for it to get down to that 190 point and stay there. That's where my ultimate goal weight is going to be. Let's see, Bryce, we did find one cream in the area that's clean, but it's $8 a pint. Yep. It is expensive to get a clean cream. Also, only 1 gram of carbs per serving and a lot more fat and calories that I likely don't need. Yeah, you got to remember the main thing for any dairy product. The whole purpose of it is to make whatever animal that is eating it gain weight and get fat. The Polylama. Today you're finishing your 1,491st consecutive fast. Minimum of 12 hours daily, usually 18 to 20 hours. Congratulations. That is, how many years is that? That's a lot of years right there, I tell you. That's pretty good. That's a good streak to be on. Do you, now I've just started watching a guy on YouTube here, Jerome fasting. He's been doing it for the last couple of years. He's 700 some days fasting that he does, or 700 some days that since he started his fasting and weight loss. He's had some tremendous weight loss from just the way he does his fasting. Let's see, just be less fat. You enjoy Kona coffee, but the cost is a bit out of reach right now. Yeah, that Kona coffee is really good, but it is very expensive. There isn't a place in town here that has that. For me to get that, I have to drive about 2 hours away. And if I'm going to drive 2 hours away to get coffee, it better be damn good. But I have had it. It is really good. Rides, basically, I've been using Kicking Horse coffee. It's organic and around the same price as Starbucks. Very smooth, yeah. The different kinds of coffee, if you find one that is really smooth, like I really like the Dunn Brothers Papua New Guinea Western Highlands coffee. That is a really good coffee. And yeah, it costs a bit more than what you're going to pay for anything else around here, but to me, it's worth it. Sarah says, yeah, Kona is amazing. Only had it once in your life. It is. It's really good. Mud pie. Well, who's right? Did I miss something in here? I don't know. It's nice to see you, Mud pie. Bryce biscuit you found mini label Kona is a blend, actually sometimes only 10% Kona. 100% Kona is very expensive in your research, and it is. And that's one of the things with our labeling system that we have in the US. You don't have to have something as 100% to claim it as that product. And it really does get frustrating at times to see that. Let's see, Sarah. Well, that's awesome. It's very hard to get raw milk in Oregon. But I just jumped through the hoops, hoping to milk my own cows later in 2026. I've been growing my small farm and my cows are finally tame. Awesome. Fresh milk. My aunt and uncle, my dad's brother and his wife had a large dairy farm when we were growing up. The farm's no longer there, but we used to spend our summers up at our grandma's house, and that was my mom's mom, and she lived within a few miles of everybody else that we were related to up there. So when we go up in the summertime and spend time up there, we always went out to our uncle's and we spent time at his farm. Many times we helped him milk the cows. It was always a fun thing to do. And then, of course, my aunt would make us dinner and we'd have fresh milk at the table. And, not even a couple hours old, but absolutely delicious milk. Just be less fat. Yeah, you have to read the labels. If you don't read the labels, you're going to get a lot of stuff in there that's not what it says to be. Read where stuff is in the label too. There are some things that they have to do, is like the more of an ingredient that it has in it, the higher it has to be up in the label. So if you have something that has just 10% of it, it's not going to be, the first couple of things in the label because it's one of the lower ingredients. Bryce biscuits, you'd like to get a dairy cow, but sure, what room in my apartment would work for that? You could get a Highland cow, one of the little mini ones. I don't know how much milk you'd get from it though. My cows would love to live inside or at least visit. Yeah, that's funny. You give up olive oil for that reason. Just be less, but yeah. For the price of organic single origin expeller pressed Evo, you could just buy tallow instead. And tallow is actually much better for you too. Olive oil is one of the most, it has the highest amount of fraud for ingredients in it. And it's just absolutely terrible. There have been a lot of companies who have gotten in trouble for food fraud for claiming something to be 100% olive oil when it's not. You do have to put the other ingredients in there, and there are some rules about how things have to be labeled. So a lot of places have gotten in trouble for it. Let's see. Just be less fat. Same Bryce biscuit. Your brain got tired trying to figure out olive oil and early harvest, single origin, etc. Yeah, it's just easier to go with tallow. Or what my wife and I like to do is when we cook our bacon, I've got the bacon container, the fat container. So you cook our bacon, we pour it over the strainer, it gets strained into that container, and we just use the bacon fat to cook our eggs or cook anything with. Let's see. And Bryce basically says he's only done 3 fasts so far. Doing a fast it's not for everybody. Rice biscuit. Some people just aren't cut out to do fasting like that. It's hard on some people. My wife can. She can do a 24-hour fast, 25 hours, and that's as far as she can go. Polylama, you've lost 73 pounds so far. That is absolutely amazing. And that's just from doing fast. That's pretty good. Bryce, basically seeing Kona 10 years ago when you were researching, and it was over $50 a pound back then. Yep. And I don't think it's gotten any less expensive. I know around Christmas time, the Dumb Brothers, that's 2 hours from here, it was a couple years ago, they had the Kona coffee, and it was, I want to say it was either $40 or it was $60 a pound, and you had to pre-order it back in like end of October to get it in time for Christmas. That was just crazy. Bryce says good coffee is definitely worth it. Wine too, but you quit that. Yeah, I quit wine. I quit drinking wine a long time ago. That stuff is just not good for me. Do a lot of people have saunas in North Dakota? You did your first sauna yesterday. Felt great. It's supposed to help with thyroid and inflammation. Not as much as anybody else, I guess, Sarah. Some people do. Like my daughter and her boyfriend, they don't have a sauna, but they go to the Y that has a sauna, and they enjoy doing that. I have a hot tub, and we moved into this house 7 years ago, and I haven't hooked the hot tub back up yet. But I used to go into that daily. But then I got really big, and things just weren't going right for me. And when you're as far overweight as I was, and your blood pressure was as bad as mine, hot tub was the least of my concerns. So I didn't do that. I actually was. I don't remember where my wife and I just were. We were just someplace, and they had saunas. And I was looking at one of those, and I was like, man, that would be really nice to have. But I think I'd rather have a full-size treadmill that I can walk on sitting right here, and I think I'd rather do that. But yeah, a nice sauna would be good too. It really helps you loosen up the body and expel out a bunch of garbage that your body doesn't need through your sweat. Bridesmaids, you forgot what steam. I think maybe Aaron, the first ingredient in a Little Debbie product was actually water. You thought that was crazy, yeah? Oh, you forgot what stream, but you think of Aaron's. She was talking about Little Debbie's. That just makes me think of the joke about Little Debbie's changing their name to Fat Deborah. Yeah, because that's what they do. Olive oils like honey today are part of the compromised industries. They are. It's hard to find pure honey. The best way to find a nice pure honey is to find honey that's being sold by the person who is gathering it. We have several places here in the state that do that. I used to work with a guy who allowed honeybees to be put on his property, and for the beekeeper to do that, he paid the guy with honey. So he'd give him so many pounds of honey a year just for that, which is some of the best honey that you ever had. John, together strong. He tried milking a coconut one time, but couldn't find the udders. That is absolutely funny. Yes, bacon grease for the win. Free fat. I love the bacon grease. It makes everything taste better. It really does. And you can purify it over and over and over to get it to that nice, beautiful white lard texture and consistency, or you can just leave it with the flavor that it has, and it's absolutely good. Just be less fat. You've started harvesting bacon grease. It is a good thing to harvest, I tell you. I like it. You wonder what makes Kona so good? Minerals in the soil. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys probably know more about that than I do, but I believe it's because it's grown in the volcanic ash, and it's the kind of ash, along with everything else on the area, that makes it so enjoyable for a person and so smooth. Fasting and keto, low carb. Yeah. And that is the best way to lose weight. Fasting is a natural state, but not everybody is able to do that. It took me a while to, actually it didn't take me a long time. It just took me eating a carnivore style diet where I was just going, and all of a sudden one day I'm not hungry, so I did eat. And that got to a couple of days and so on. So I generally do one longer extended fast in a month. I haven't done a straight fast this month at all, but I haven't really felt like I've needed it this month. Next month, I do plan on doing fasting a lot more than what I did this month, or what I've done recently. Yeah, probably a soil climate, maybe volcanic proximity, like San Marzano tomatoes that grow in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. Yeah. Yeah, it's the white here has saunas. You went to a wellness place and used their sauna. Yeah, it's using the sauna and the hot tubs actually make a huge difference in how you feel. I know when I was very active with the insanity workouts, that hot tub was amazing, because after you do that workout and the next day, get up in the morning, go sit in the hot tub, and it just relieves all the aches and pains and stuff, and that made a huge difference. You're thirsty, you can go grab a little Debbie. That's funny, Sarah. Bry's biscuit. He did study wine at one time, and the idea of terroir expansion from geography, climate is a thing. Really? Let's see. Bacon and butter grease truly make everything better. I use a fine mesh double strainer for your bacon grease. Yeah, it's actually, and the more you strain out the impurities, the better you can get it, and the more shelf stable it becomes. I know we'll use our same bacon grease for a long time, and then my wife will finally say, it's enough, and she'll empty it all out, and we'll start all over again. But with the tallow, like when I do a brisket, the trimmings, we save that, throw them in the freezer until I get a good pile of it, and then I'll run it through the meat grinder and throw it into a crock pot and render it down and make jars of tallow. I think I've got 6 quarts of tallow right now, but I don't use a whole lot of tallow anymore because I use a lot of the bacon grease instead. Cosmic gesture, you won't do any sugar, but if you're gonna do honey, put some in a glass of water and swish it around. And if it doesn't have any structure after a minute or so, then it's not honey, it's just corn syrup. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's supposed to have like the honeycomb structure in it when you do that. Yeah, it's so easy for people to just use that high fructose corn syrup and put that in everything now. It's just terrible. Yeah, fasting in the modern culture of abundance is an alien concept. We've lost touch with our biological roots. That is very true. It's hard to get people to understand that fasting is actually what our normal state is. Being in a state of ketosis is normal for us, um, and you feel so much better when you're in ketosis. And let's see, bacon grease is much cheaper than good olive oil. Absolutely is because it comes with the bacon. Yeah, YMCA. I don't know if they all have them. I know the one we have here does have the sauna, has a hot tub, um, nice pool. So it's worth checking out. That's for sure. Yeah, inflammation and Hashimoto's. Infrared sauna is supposed to make a huge difference. Let's see. Terrier's expression of place in food and or beverage, the complete natural environment in which a particular wine is produced, including factors such as soil, topography, and climate. Yeah. Uh, Sarah, if you lived in North Dakota, your house would be a sauna. Oh, you think so? It's amazing what happens when you live here and you get used to it. Like today it's 20 some degrees outside. I'm wearing a long sleeve and I got my uh, with zero heat or 32 heat shirt underneath this here, and I won't need a jacket going outside in this temperature. It's 24, 25 degrees out. For Speedy Gaming, good morning. How are you today? It's nice to see you here this morning. Let's see, Bride's Biscuit says, thanks, Sarah. You definitely look into both, trying to finally get your antibodies down. Yeah, and we can heal. Absolutely. It's it, sitting in the saunas and hot tub using the infrared light. It makes a huge difference for people. You gotta get the right light spectrum, and it really does make a big difference on what it does for the body. Bridesmaids, that's why I also want to try testing going off dairy. You tolerate symptomatically, but not sure about thyroid panels. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot with thyroids. Um, Luckily for my wife, she doesn't have thyroid issues, at least not that we know of. I don't have issues with it. I do know a couple people that do, and when they eat uh, basically a stricter ketogenic diet, their thyroid issues seem to dissipate tremendously, um, to the point where they don't, their medication, they can come down on it and stuff. But I don't know about the infrared and saunas. Probably can't help. You could probably do saunas a lot easier in cold plunges. Well, it depends upon where you're at. And it's pretty easy to do a cold plunge here right now. Yeah, Bridesmaids is got diagnosed with Hashimoto's at 18. And that was a long time ago, wasn't it, Bryce Biscuit? 1 year keto thyroid slightly improved, but it improved, which it's not supposed to, according to our modern medicine, once you get one of these conditions like Hashimoto's, it's a progressive disease. It's no longer curable. It's no longer something that you can manage or control without being on a medication for the rest of your life. At least that's what they want to tell you. Right, Rice Biscuit. If you walk outside New York City right now, it's technically a cold plunge. Yeah, I would agree with that. I can't say that about here in where I'm at in North Dakota. It's 26 degrees out. The wind chill, it says 17 degrees. We've got a 9-mile-an-hour wind, but we do have freezing fog. There is snow coming around us. The freezing fog's supposed to let up around noon. And around noon, we're supposed to be, going up north today to the town my parents are living at. It's the town I grew up in. It's a farming community, and the local elevator once a year does a big steak feast. So basically, they have steak and all the fixings for free for the community. And it's something we've done for the last 4 or 5 years, where we've gone up there, as long as it wasn't snowing and stuff. Too bad, but we're gonna go up there today and enjoy a free steak dinner. 26 is basically bikini weather. Yeah, it can be 26 Celsius. It's Bryce Yes, you did improve. You have been doing iodine supplementation. You got a fluoride water filter and switched to desiccant thyroid supplement instead of synthetic. That's good. I know, like, even using a different toothpaste with the I can't even remember what it's called, hydroxybutyrate instead of fluoride, which is basically what your teeth are made of, helps. I actually use a brand of that, and it's amazing the difference in how my mouth feels using a non-fluoride toothpaste. And that is one of the things about not eating a strict carnivore diet like we did this week. I can tell the difference in my teeth and how they feel in the morning. Even if I brush my teeth twice a day, when I first get up and before I go to bed, halfway through the day, I can feel the grittiness on my teeth that I had not experienced in the last 18 or 16 months I've been on carnivore. So it's huge difference. And it wasn't that we really ate bad. It's just we didn't eat strict carnivore. We have the Polar Bear Club here. Folks will jump into the Atlantic January 1st. Yeah, that's just a little bit crazy. You bought the Boca recommendation from Dr. Berry. Actually, I think that's the same brand that I'm using. I do like that non-fluoride toothpaste. It does make a big difference. Bridesmaid said Nisha Berry has videos on how she maintains her Hashimoto's. You also watch Dr. Boz videos. She has some good ones there as well. Dr. Boz also has some good information on sardine fasting and fasting too. I like Dr. Boz. I do watch some of her videos. And if you're interested in fasting, Jerome, he's at Finally Fasting. He's got some good videos on his fasting journey that he's done. That's actually pretty good too. Aaron, you're going to jump on and say good morning to Larry. Oh, it is that time. All right, we'll see you over there and have a good one. Oh, I don't know. He said he thought he was going to be on today. I have not been on to look to see if he's even set anything up yet. I was just assuming that he was going to be on this morning. And he doesn't have anything set up to stream today. So I don't know. He might not be on this morning. You like jumping into glacial lakes while backpacking? They still have that nice frozen feeling to them, Sarah? You really like the smoked olive oil sardines. I'm going to have to try them. I avoided because it's in olive oil, and I know how a lot of the companies are. It's not, most companies don't use pure olive oil anymore, so I didn't use them. I'm going to have to try it and see if I can find a good one that doesn't have other oils in it. I'll have to try the olive oil sardines. Yeah, Nisha says her Hashimoto's is in recession. She just got Hashi's, though. I've had to manage poorly for nearly 5 decades. Yep. And that's a big difference. I know you're talking about the Hashimoto's, and I had the high blood pressure issues, and I was only on my blood pressure medications for about 4 years. So it wasn't that long. My wife was on a type 2 diabetic for over 20 years when she started doing this. So she's had a lot more issues with her pancreas and taking the medications and not being managed properly because of the way all the doctors and stuff treat this stuff. So it makes a difference. I came off of my medicines a lot faster than my wife did. I think that has to do with how long she was on it too. So being on thyroid meds for 5 decades is a huge issue. And having an improvement after just a year on a keto diet is absolutely great. That is, to me, it's one of the most fantastic things you could have on there. Yeah, Jason Fung is great for fasting. He's got some really good books too. That's what it is, nano-hydroxybutyrate or hydroxyapatite. Hydroxybutyrate is ketones. Dr. Brownstein and Dr. Bright are great sources for iodine research. I don't know who Brownstein is, but I know Dr. Bright does stuff with Steak and Butter Gal Bella. So I have seen some of Dr. Bright's stuff from Bella on her channel. Not a whole lot, though. Let's see. John's not seeing him pop up either. Oh, Larry. Yeah, I don't see that Larry's popping up on there, and I don't see a post from him saying that they're not going to be here today either. Could just be running late, or maybe he's not going to be doing it today. Aaron says he just looked at the ingredients. Some have more than olive oil, but others were fine. No negative impact. Yeah. So what I'll have to do, I'll have to look at them. I know even like the Great Value brand sardines with water had something other than water into it. I can't remember which oil it was, but it had a seed oil in it. I think it was soy oil. And I was like, why? Why would they do that? That's just absolutely terrible to do. Yes, the glacial lakes are still pre-frozen. You'll be a couple of minutes late for Carnivore Quest Warriors. Got to do a quick chore. Going slow this morning. Absolutely, Sarah. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully Larry is on there soon. I have missed talking with him, and the group that comes into that meeting is always great to be around. Dr. Brownstein wrote 5 books on iodine alone. Wow. That's a good source of information. Yeah, stay away from the Great Value brand sardines. Yeah, they're not. It's one of the things that I have noticed about Great Value brand stuff. Before going carnivore and stuff, is one of the things that if you pay attention to the Great Value brand of products, some of their products, they have a really high standard that whoever is manufacturing for them has to meet. One of the things that I noticed now is with their different pastas. The Great Value brand pastas are very, very consistent in size and everything on there. They're actually really decent quality for their pastas. Just something that I've noticed. But, you know, why they're not like that with everything else, I don't understand, unless they really don't care about having seed oils and stuff because they don't see an issue with it. Whereas, like in the pasta, having the same consistency and the same, length and everything makes a difference to them. It's just something I had noticed when we mixed a brand of Great Value pasta with another name brand pasta. And before we mixed them together in the dish that we're making, it was something that I had noticed that the name brand stuff, the length and the everything with the name brand value was like all over the place. So some were small, some were large. It just went everywhere. But the Great Value, it was all just about, identical in the length and thickness and everything. It was actually really, to me, it was a much better quality. Aaron says Bumblebee and Chicken of the Sea were good. I'll have to look at that. Which one was I using? Beach Cliff is the one I had used. Bridesmaids, a Wild Planet has some sardines and olive oil, just $2.50 a tin. You've used Beach Cliff and water. Those are your go-to, just over $1 per tin. Yeah, I actually did my shopping for the sardines at the dollar store, and that's where they had the Beach Cliff, and it's just $1. So it's a pretty good price for for sardines. John's got to fly, get a 4-mile walk in today later. Have a good walk today, John. It's nice seeing you. We'll talk to you guys later, okay? Have a good one. But yeah, the Beach Cliff sardines actually, to me, weren't that bad. And Chicken of the Sea, I want to say I did get some of those too. I did try 2 tins of the Wild Planet ones in water, and the difference between the Beach Cliff and the Wild Planet sardines are bigger. They're much bigger than the Beach Cliff. For flavor and stuff, there wasn't that much of a difference in the flavor. They were both in water, so they're actually pretty good. I didn't mind them at all. But it's just, oh, what the heck. Yeah. Let's see. Chicken of the Sea, Alaskan pink canned salmon and water, wild caught, just salmon, water, salt, $1.49 a can or a 5-ounce can. That's actually not a bad price for pink salmon. Wild caught is a much better. I don't. When you go into a grocery store and you look at like the salmon, the farm raised salmon, they're big, thick chunks, and they're a light orange color. The wild caught are thinner, and they're a much darker pinkish orange, and the flavor is so much better for the wild caught. I enjoy the wild caught salmon. It's really good. Bridesmaid says, "Take care, John." Like the wild caught salmon, it's much better flavor, much better quality, and they're not being fed the pellets and the way they are in a farm raised environment. It's just not. farm raised fish just isn't right. That's what tilapia is, and yeah, at one time that's what I used to eat. I won't eat that anymore either. And the farm included color feed to change the flesh of the salmon. Salmon are supposed to eat like krill. Yep. And if you're feeding salmon soy, they're not going to have that deep natural color. They're going to be more a whitish color, which is why they have to feed them a colored pellet. It's kind of like what they say, was it the methylene blue? Turns your brain blue. So you can do the same thing with a salmon. Does the same stuff. So, well, it's been just over an hour and 5 minutes now. I don't see anything on the Carnivore Quest site for a meeting today. I hope they're doing all right. I know Larry said he was going someplace. That's why they weren't going to be doing it on Friday. So I wonder if they're just not back yet. Brides, because it's 12 p.m. here, going to break your fast. Thanks, Peace Fam, catching the streams. Have a good one there, Bride's Biscuit. We'll talk to you later. Aaron's party here all day. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to get ready, and we're going up north here, and in less than an hour we're going to take off and head up to my folks for a beautiful dinner. Okay. I have a clock right up here, and just the way the light's hitting it, the hour hand disappeared, so all I can see is the minute hand and the second hand moving around, and I'm like, I know it's not 1 o'clock. Thank you, Aaron. With the frost like it is, it can be hazardous on the roads too, so people do have to be careful. Oh, hey, I just want to show one more thing. This was my breakfast this morning. Brisket and eggs. Is there a better combination for a breakfast? That was the brisket that was cooked for Christmas dinner. That's the fatty part of it. The point is absolutely delicious. That was part of this brisket here. You see it in the background, and then you have the lean up front. Beautiful smoke ring in that, but this was just, here's another view of it. But 4 eggs and brisket, that was a beautiful breakfast this morning. Yeah, the brisket, this is actually probably the best brisket I've cooked so far. It's one of the things I wish I would have gotten with when I bought this Pit Boss. I wish I would have known just a little bit more. I don't have a full second rack. My second rack is just like a warming rack. So the first, several months that I cooked briskets and stuff on here, I did it all on the rack right above the heat. The last couple of briskets I've done them on the upper rack with a tray of water underneath it to block the direct heat off of the brisket, so the very bottom doesn't crisp. And then on this one, I never went above 250 degrees for the heat. And 6 hours into it, I put foil on on both ends to keep them from crisping. So it was really good. It didn't have any tough pieces at all in this one. It was so tender, so delicious. Yeah, you need to put your grill together, Aaron. There's a couple of videos out there for they were Pit Boss videos, but they were talking specifically about burning in and finding your hot spots and how to do it. And absolutely recommend doing that. And then if your grill, you got the Z grill, if you have a full second rack for cooking like a brisket, I'd highly recommend cooking them up there and wherever your fire is. So you have your grill like this. If your fire pot is on the one side, you cook your brisket on the other side. You have the uh, tray under it so that it blocks the heat from going directly to the brisket and it'll come up and over it. That's how you want to cook it, man. You want the fatty end pointed towards the heat because it takes more to render the fat down in that end. It just, I use two different probes in it too, so I can check my temperatures in a couple different places. It makes a huge difference in getting accurate readings. And then I watched a tremendous amount of videos on smoking the briskets, as well as ribs and pork butt, stuff like that. It's got some delicious foods. You can cook so much on there. I did a chuck roast on my pit boss too. That chuck roast turned out really good when I did that. Where's that at? I have that here really. And then even stuff like pork tenderloin. You can throw a pork tenderloin on a grill and it turns out absolutely delicious. So that's a chuck roast. I threw that on the grill. I smoked this for like 5 or 6 hours. Got a beautiful smoke ring in there, and you can see the holes where I had the probe in there. And I wrapped it. I did everything on this here just like I would a brisket. I cooked it up to about 183 degrees, took it off, wrapped it, put it back on, let it cook to 205, and it was so tender, so juicy, delicious. It was absolutely amazing. And I saw this on X the other day, and it made me laugh. If Santa raised cattle, he'd be a Jolly Rancher. Oh, I thought that shit was funny. It made me laugh, so I wanted to share that this morning too. Well, with that, it's been just over an hour, almost hour and 15 minutes. I'll be back again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Until then, just remember, y'all. Where is it at? There it is. Eat meat, be happy. That's all it takes. It makes life so much better. Yeah, Aaron Jolly Rancher. It's funny, isn't it? And with that, I am going to bid y'all a great day, and we'll talk to you in the streams. Bye.